If you're a student, the most important piece of advice I can give to you is don't wait for permission to learn. Because you never know where it will take you. And don't let anyone tell you that you need a big $1,000 setup to get started. My $300 printer was basically all I had when I began. And now I build robots and inventions for me, and for humanity.
A message has arrived for you. It could be important.
Hold the message. I've actually got one last project before New Year's. You ready, Jarvis?
Ready when you are.
I've been inspired by stories for as long as I can remember. They taught me that heroes aren't defined by what they're given, they're defined by what they make out of what they have. I bought my first 3D printer at 15, and I wanted to challenge myself. To build something technical. So I built a replica of Iron Man's gauntlet, inspired by the stories I grew up with as a kid. And in that moment, I really did feel like a superhero. Not because of the gauntlet, but because of the skills I learned while making it. It was my first time ever soldering wires with the help of my grandfather, and my first experience sizing 3D prints, which has become second nature to me now. But I had this burning question in the back of my mind, one that I could not let go. Every time I put on the Iron Man gauntlet, I kept asking myself, what if I could control this without the need to wear it? And I was determined to figure out how. But most importantly, I didn't wait for a class to teach me. This was my first big project. And it taught me some new valuable skills. For instance, I knew I was gonna have to learn coding to make this project work, so I taught myself how. I researched hand tracking technology and learned how to code by breaking down all the open source code I could find online and putting it back together again. I taught myself circuits through messing around with Arduino. Then I brought it all together, and now you could open or close the servos through moving your fingers. Finally, I put it all in one mechanical hand. But this project didn't end here. Even though my high school didn't have a science fair, I still represented us at the regionals and was selected to go to provincials, which I didn't even know existed. But it gets crazier, because I won the bronze medal while competing in my second language and was selected to go to nationals, which I also didn't know existed. But of course, I didn't say no to the challenge. It was new territory for me, but I made connections with other makers and discovered my passion for public speaking, which is why I do YouTube today. By the end of the experience, I had walked out of it a Canadian silver medalist, which I was not expecting at all, especially since this all started from a personal project. But it made me realize that this project has real-world potential and that I could do something with this technology. And now that my name was out there, things were about to change. During my graduating year, I found out I was selected to represent Canada at the International Science Expo in Mexico. I made appearances on TV shows, presenting my project to the world. I spent some time building an AI assistant called Jarvis, who will come back later. But perhaps the most meaningful to me was winning the Young Innovator of Quebec award, in which I got to give a speech and truly thank my family, who helped me get to where I am today.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention the unwavering support from my family. My father, Jose Jarquin, who always believed in me, is from Nicaragua. My mother, Jennifer Palik, who has been with me every step of the way, is part Italian, Czech, and Polish. And my stepfather, Filip Niadu, who was always there when I needed him, is Ivorian. Overall, my family is a mix of many people from many cultures who all worked so hard to give their kids the opportunities they never had. And now that opportunity is presented to me, and I'm not going to waste it. This award is a testament to that.
I graduated that year as valedictorian and used Jarvis to hack into their speaker system to play music during my graduation speech. Jarvis, have you hacked into their system yet? After that year of reflection, I came back into engineering and made my biggest project yet. I wanted to revisit the idea of a robotic hand and improve upon every little flaw of the original. In my first project, the servos were either opened or closed, and there was no in between. So I rewrote the code. Now it calculates the distance between your joints and sends that as a value to the servo so you can get all those precise little micro movements. I also gave it a dual string system so that the fingers are never loose, but perhaps the best part about this project is that you no longer have to be in front of the MacBook camera for it to work. Which means it could be used to do tasks too dangerous for humans and possibly save lives. I redesigned the entire hand as well to suit it for extra functionalities like rock, paper, scissors. But my favorite addition was making Pico, my robot companion who sits on my shoulder and scans my hand, sending all the information to Flex. So I decided to take my shot at the science fair again. This was a scary moment for me, especially considering how well I did last time, because there was no guarantee I'd see even the slightest success that I saw the first time. But I gave it a shot anyways, and I did my best. And in the end, I got first place! I honestly couldn't believe it. It was a dream come true. But that wasn't even the biggest result of my project. As I prepared to go to the Canada-wide science fair, I mixed my passion of filmmaking and engineering to make a YouTube video about Flex, and it started getting views fast. If I couldn't be an engineer, I would love to be a filmmaker. But I never thought these worlds could meet until recently. But I love creating on YouTube because it gives me the chance to be the mentor that I never had to other people who are just starting out in the maker community. And if that sounds like you, then I highly recommend checking out this new social media platform called Arc, which is basically a social media for inventors and makers who want to get started and share their builds in progress, and I'm on there too! So if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message on Arc, and I'll be happy to respond to you. Arc has been an amazing supporter of my channel throughout my history, and we're here to support you now. Since becoming a YouTube partner, I've rediscovered my love for engineering and making, because now I'm not only building for myself, I'm also building for all of you, and I love it. It inspires me to make awesome projects. For example, I turned Pico into my first open source project, created a Jarvis heads-up display that displays real-time information as you're talking to your AI, and created a real-life Iron Man gauntlet made of real metal. So I guess you could say that after 3 years, I finally finished my first project, and now know what it feels like to be Iron Man in real life. You wanna know what happens next? So do I. But that doesn't mean I can't help you start your own journey. I learned how to make all of my projects by doing them because there is no better way to get good at something than to simply start doing it. And that's why Brilliant fits so naturally into how I learn. Instead of watching lectures, Brilliant pushes you to think. You actually solve problems actively and build intuition along the way. Brilliant even has courses on learning circuits, which is what I use to bring my projects to life every day. These are some of my favorites to do, because even though I have experience in making circuits, Brilliant is made to meet me where I am, and then level me up from there. So no matter what level you're at, it's a great place to unleash your potential. What I like most is that it doesn't just teach formulas, it trains the way you think. And over time, that way of learning changes you. You stop being afraid of hard problems, and you trust yourself to figure things out. And that confidence carries directly into what you build next. To learn for free on Brilliant for a full 30 days, go to brilliant.org/MateoTechLab, scan the QR code on screen, or click the link in the description. Brilliant's also given my viewers 20% off an annual premium subscription, which gives you unlimited daily access to everything on Brilliant. As always, stay curious, keep building, and don't forget to subscribe.